I'd like to greet you all with the most heartfelt sentiments, love and affection. In order to participate on the 76th General Assembly of the United Nations meeting, we will fly for New York. Last year, rotating presidency has been held by Volkan Bozkır, but unfortunately the General Assembly meeting couldn't be held due to the coronavirus, and I would like to congratulate Volkan Bozkır for finishing his rotating presidency and showing a role model leadership during the challenging times. On behalf of myself and my nation, I'd like to congratulate him. On the occasion of the General Assembly meeting, we will discuss many topics, including but not limited to respecting human rights and the post-pandemic recovery, and establishing the revival of the United Nations with greater hopes for the future. We are attaching significant importance to the healthcare services and also the issues regarding to climate change and sustainable development, and those topics will be the main priorities of the General Assembly meetings. More than 110 countries representatives will be participating in person and remotely to our meeting. On 11th of September, I will be addressing to the General Assembly of the United Nations. In my talk, I will underline the great support given by Turkey to sustainable development. And we will exchange our views about the topics and the challenges that the United Nations is facing with. And the approach of Turkey will be articulated from the rostrum of the General Assembly of the United Nations. A part of the meetings will be held online, which will be different from the previous years. The Food System Summit and high-level energy dialogue summit of the United Nations will be carried out online, in which I will be delivering my speech via video. And in addition to the General Secretary, I will have many bilateral meetings with many of the representatives of different countries. And I will also participate in a summit titled "A More Just World is Possible," which will be organized by Task, in which I will come together with the representatives of the Turkish society and the Muslim society in United States of America. In addition to all those bilateral meetings, we will carry out the opening ceremony of the Turkish House together with many of our allies and friends, including but not limited to the ones from the RNC. The Turkish House, which is constructed on the land just in front of the United Nations headquarters, has embodied the cultures and norms of the Turkish society, and it will be a new masterpiece which will be put to service. On the same day, the Foreign Policy Association and SETA DC will organize an event in which I will come together with the think tank organizations of the United States of America. And in addition to all those meetings, I will have interviews with some of the media organs of the United States of America. And we will come together with the representative of the business world in United States of America. The 11th Turkey Investment Conference to be organized by the Turkish and American Business Council will be among the meetings that I will be participating in. As you can see, our meetings and meeting agenda will be very intense, and I hope that this summit will be auspicious for my nation and for all the humanity. And I once again would like to extend my gratitude and appreciation to all of you. Hopefully, we will also present our book in Turkish, in English, in French, in Arabic. A more just world is possible. We prepared this book in those different languages, and hopefully we will present this book to its addressees. A fairer world is possible, as you can see. Its edition looks quite nice, and this is the Arabic version of the book. Yes, as you can see, the English version, and this one is the Turkish version. So we will present our book in 4 different languages. We have done the necessary preparations, and we will present our books to the addressees in the opening ceremony of the General Assembly meeting. Yes, the floor is yours. From Haber Global TV, you have stated that we will prevent the hyperinflation in the prices, and after this announcement of yours, the inspections increased. Are you going to take some additional measures? And we see a hyperinflation in the real estate sector, and some students have challenges in terms of finding themselves an apartment for rent. What kind of steps will be taken in that regard? Well, valuable friends, I don't think this question should be even asked, because at the end of the day, our responsibility is to take care of such injustice and such oppressions, if you pardon this saying. I mean, if there is such kind of an injustice or oppression via hyperinflation, of course, at all costs, we will prevent it. But let me clearly state one very important fact. In terms of the dormitories, we have carried out the investments which is not carried out by any political party. So we have the bed capacity of 1 million. I mean, before we came to power, the dormitories were not even existed, and those dorms are quite luxurious. I mean, the rooms have 2 beds or maximum 3 beds, so the dormitories are quite modern, and I'm very proud with our dorms, and I'm very proud with the steps taken by our credit and dorm institutions. But if you ask the opinion of Mr. Kemal, he wouldn't be satisfied with what we have done so far. I mean, he has no masterpiece whatsoever, but when it comes to lying, he can lie on and on. And unfortunately, there are certain media organs who are only listening to what he says, and they are continuing with their slander and defamation campaign. It doesn't matter what they do, we will continue to give our best service to our nation. And he is lying so intensely, and he says that this problem will be solved within 1 year, he says, but there is no problem that we can see at the moment. Well, all those steps of constructing the dormitories have never been taken before us. Yesterday, I have listened to what the spokesperson of the opposition party was saying, and what he was saying was nothing other than lies. And he was claiming that the farmers went bankrupt already, that's what they said. And I have announced the prices for sugar beet, and we have increased the prices of the sugar beets by 25%, and the increases for the tea and the hazelnut was higher with comparison to the inflation rate. Although this was the reality, this person stands up and continues spreading lies. And what I say, do not believe to those liars. Only listen to what our citizens say, and our citizens are very satisfied with the latest development unfolding. And I visit those different provinces and different cities, and I observe in situ what is going on in those provinces. I mean, it's not possible to believe in the lies that they are spreading. And as you know, after we came to office, the scholarship given to university students was only 45 Turkish liras. I mean, you should be ashamed of yourself. Right now, the scholarship for the university students have reached already to the level of 650 Turkish lira, so you can easily understand how much we have progressed. And I also would like to state that before we came to office, the researchers, the academicians, the assistants actually receive almost the minimum wage. And as you know, the university fees had to be paid before we come to office, and we prohibited the university fees to be paid. I mean, in the past, the university students were protesting in front of the universities, and these were the problems coming from the times of the CHP, the main opposition party. And we have eradicated all those problems. We will take some additional steps, and the Ministry of Trade will work harder, and those inspections will be carried out in the super chain markets, and we will inspect the differences in terms of the prices, and we will inspect those prices, and we will make sure that those huge differences in terms of the prices of the foods will be eradicated, and I personally will deal with this problem as well after I come back from America. TRT, Nurgun Dönmez, my question will be about the election threshold. And as the People's Alliance, Mr. Bahçeli said that we have confirmed that it will be 7%. And what kind of additional steps will be taken in terms of the law on elections? Well, dear friends, our colleagues have been working for a while, and hopefully after we come back from America, we will listen to what our colleagues had to say. After we listen to them, we will take the necessary measures and put them in practice. Hopefully, as we are marching towards 2023 elections, the whole environment for the elections will be different, so that the system which is deserved and desired by Turkey will come to fruition until then. As you know, the parliament is closed at the moment, and when the parliament is opened once again, without losing any further time, we will send the draft changes in the law, and it will be negotiated in our parliament. His Excellency Mr. President, from Sabah newspaper, In addition to the latest developments unfolding in Afghanistan, the Afghanistan is facing with a humanitarian drama due to the draft. Many NGOs, Turkish NGOs, are working on fields. So is the humanitarian aid in our state agenda? Well, dear friends, we never hesitated in terms of extending humanitarian aid to such friendly countries. We have always dispatched the humanitarian aid to those friendly and allied countries, and as the state and via the NGOs, hopefully we will extend our helping hand to Afghanistan. From CNN Türk, Ceylan Sever, His Excellency Mr. President, on 10th of November, an agreement has been undersigned with Azerbaijan and Russia, and according to that agreement, the Armenia has withdrawn from Karabakh, and a corridor was to be opened between Nakhchivan and also Turkey, and the Russian forces and Russian troops were to be deployed in the region. But Pashinyan made a statement and he said that he will not allow this corridor to be created. What would you like to say about those statements? Well, dear friends, opening this corridor or not, this is a political issue. Well, on one side, Pashinyan is saying that this corridor is not going to be opened, but on the other side, he would like to meet with me. I mean, if he is willing to meet with me, then he has to take those necessary steps. So we are not closing our doors to meetings. We will come together and we will meet. And he also stated that he would like to meet with the Georgian president. But as we have those talks and as we have those meetings, we are expecting positive steps to be taken by them. And the Georgian Prime Minister has told me that the dialogue should be established so that a new process can be initiated. If they are sincere about their positive steps, then we will show a positive stance and the diplomacy will be initiated. Of course, when the diplomacy is initiated, hopefully the compromises will be made. Hopefully, the positive approaches will prevail other than the negative stances, and hopefully, this problem, this conflict between Armenia and Azerbaijan will be overcome thanks to the opening of those corridors. From Anadolu Agency, Kaan Bozdan, His Excellency Mr. President, yesterday Mitsotakis made a quotation by the meeting between you, and he stated that we have come to terms that the refugees will be kept in Turkey, and we have come to terms in that regard with Turkey, and the Turkey should be supported in that regard. We know that in the United Nations General Assembly meeting, the climate issues will be the priority of the agenda, but are you going to deliver some messages about the refugees? Well, dear friends, we will deliver two messages about the refugees and migrants in United Nations General Assembly meeting, because as the Republic of Turkey, we are the ones who are undertaking the burden, because right now in Turkey there are 4.5 million immigrants, and Turkey is trying to shoulder this burden, and as a result we are expecting similar steps to be taken by our friends and our allies. And Western Bloc is very important in that regard, and they should take those necessary steps. And we will hopefully come together with mutual targets, because we have already set forth these talks, these meetings to be held. Unfortunately, some undesired, unfortunate statements have been delivered by them, and as a result of those statements, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs has immediately responded. We will see how sincere they are, because at the end of the day, Turkey is not servant of anyone. We have to see the sincere steps to be taken by them. Otherwise, we will take the necessary measures and take our further steps accordingly. Thank you so much, dear friends. Thank you so much.